with Kelly's illegal marriage, R&B phenomena Aaliyah in 1994 when she was just 15. At the trial, several of Kelly's accusers testified without using their real names to protect their privacy. Jurors were shown homemade videos of Kelly engaging in sex acts that prosecutors said were not consensual. Kelly, born Robert Sylvester Kelly, has been jailed without bail since 2019. The New York case is only part of the legal peril facing the singer. He also has pleaded not guilty to sex-related charges in Illinois and Minnesota, and the trial dates in those cases have yet to be set. Brenda Mashumbe, Look Up TV, Nairobi.
Former Deputy Speaker in Malawi has shot himself in the head inside Parliament, where he had gone for a meeting. Clement Chiwaya, who was 50, has killed himself inside the Parliament building where he had gone to discuss vehicle benefits entitled to him when he left office in the 2019. Malawian police spokesman James Kadzera has confirmed the incident but refused to give details until he receives a full report from investigators. It said the incident was linked to frustration with the implementation of his conditions of service. The former Deputy Speaker bought his official vehicle at the end of his 5-year term in 2019, as provided for in his contract. The statement from Parliament appears to suggest that Chiwaya secretly took a gun into the high-security building. Chiwaya shot himself in the head inside the office of the Clerk of Parliament, Fiona Kalembera. Before he became Deputy Speaker, he served as a Member of Parliament from 2004. The incident is in relation to frustration with the implementation of his conditions of service. Dolly Frida, Look Up TV, Nairobi. A group of American citizens and lawful permanent residents evacuated to the United Arab Emirates from Afghanistan flew out of Gulf state bound for the United Arabs on Thursday after being temporarily held for vetting. The Department of Homeland Security had denied U.S. landing rights for a charter plane carrying more than 100 evacuees. The State Department said on Wednesday that more than 100 U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents evacuated to Abu Dhabi from Afghanistan aboard the chartered flight were expected to fly onto the United States on Thursday. The State Department had said that U.S. officials were working to verify the accuracy of the list of passengers that had been evacuated to the UAE capital Abu Dhabi. It did not say whether all the passengers had flown out. Brand Stan, a founder of non-profit group Project Dynamo that chartered the flight, had said 28 U.S. citizens, 83 green card holders, and 6 people within U.S. immigration visas granted to Afghans who worked for the U.S. government during the 20-year war in Afghanistan were aboard the KAM air flight from Kabul to Abu Dhabi. President Joe Biden's administration has said its top priority is repatriating Americans and green card holders who were unable to leave Afghanistan in the U.S. evacuation operation last month.
And just a day after Muranga Senator Irungu Kangata proposed changes in the Citizenship and Immigration Amendment Bill that seeks to introduce changes concerning people in diaspora, like to offer consul services, making sure that Kenyans from abroad undergo a program that will help them adapt back to the country, and also having a special desk to address matters of the people in diaspora. We have Josiah Amugongo, who is an economist and a political analyst, and also try to help us understand if this bill passes, or rather is passed by the Senate or Parliament, how will Kenyans abroad benefit? How will the economy be? Josiah, I hope you can get me.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly, and thank you for the opportunity to come on the show. And because as it is, most Kenyans have been worried of pursuing opportunities abroad, especially when it comes to visiting countries like Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and the Middle East, because of the issues touching on security. But with the introduction of this bill, we shall ensure that most Kenyans are able to pursue these opportunities, knowing very well that there are safe choices for them.
How has the government made sure that these people can easily come in the country and work, and also Kenyans can easily go abroad? What is the process generally?
There's an existing protocol on how diasporans can come and work in the country. Yes. First of all, one needs to secure a work permit. And after securing a work permit, you also need to secure a work visa, and also demonstrate that you have a place you're coming to work in the country. But the problem has not been in having these measures in place. The problem lies in the fact that the country has done very little to ensure that we are enforcing these policies. We are ensuring that someone who comes to this country on a tourist visa maintains that tourist visa. Because what happens is most people come into this country on a tourist visa and eventually seek employment. And then there's also an issue that is stemming from members of our fellow African countries. We have, for instance, an increased number of people from Rwanda, the Central Africa, Somalia, and even Ethiopia that are coming into this country. Most of these people are taking advantage of our laxity on protecting our borders, and they're using those very places to come into this country. And once they're in, they now seek positions of employment, and they're able to get employment, mostly in the domestic sector and also in the industrial sector where labor is very much required.
So, like, what can the government do to make sure that even if diasporans come to work in Kenya, that they won't affect the minimum wage that should be charged in each and every sector of the economy?
First of all, this is in effect because of the poor structures we've put in place to regulate in terms of recruiting foreigners. What the government needs to do is to ensure that businesses that have a legal permit to operate in this country are able to control, to abide by the labor laws that have been put in this country as per our constitution. And when we do this, we shall ensure that Kenyans have a fair opportunity to compete for these jobs that the foreigners are taking for low pay. Because we need to ensure that, first of all, every business complies with the minimum wage bill that has been set as per the Labor Act. Also, secondly, we need to ensure that the foreigners that are coming into this country are controlled so that at least someone is registered, someone has a legal permit, and we have people who are going around just to follow up and check how much this person is earning. Like, for instance, we already have a regulation that this is the amount for the amount of money that domestic workers should earn. This is the amount of money that an industrial worker in the country should earn. We just need to embrace these structures, and the government needs to do better by ensuring that each and everyone gets a fair opportunity to get employed through following the proper legal structures in the country.
Do you think the government will be capable of ensuring that the minimum wage bill is observed in all the sectors?
The government is capable in trying to ensure these policies. What we need is to just come up with structures to, first of all, have, like, let's say, for instance, of registered workers. Also ensure that all workers that are employed are joined things like we have the trade unions. At least we are able to regulate and check on how much this person is earning and what is the minimum required for this. So that just to ensure that each and everyone has an opportunity. Because as it stands, the foreigners who are mostly undocumented are very much willing to just accept these positions for very small amounts of money.
Do you think that there are jobs out there? Do you think that Kenyans, especially the youth, if you had the senator talk yesterday, he was saying that we have youth in the country with skills, but they don't have jobs. Do you think when they go abroad, there are jobs there? There are jobs to accommodate their needs?
There are positions out there and there are jobs actually outside this country. What we, like, for instance, a few months ago, there was this agreement that was reached between the Kenyan government and the British government. And the prime purpose of that was to ensure that Kenyans are able to get positions to work abroad. Kenyans have gone to school. Most of them have undergraduate degrees. Some of them have master's degrees. And at least you'll get 1 out of 5 has a minimum of post-secondary school education. So I believe there are jobs out there for these positions, and what we need to do as a country is to just link them up and pursue our bilateral relations.
Thank you so much, Josiah, for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
Nairobi, are you ready? October is Dyslexia Awareness Month and the whole world will go red for dyslexia. Join us on 28th of October. Wear the red outfit as we light up the UAP on Mucho Red for dyslexia.
Where will you be watching the glow from? Does your child write B instead of D? Is your child phobic to the red pen due to the numerous X wrongs they get from teachers' marking pen? Do they refer to your child as a slow learner? Your child is simply dyslexic. To be part of the sponsor and for more information about dyslexia, kindly contact 0722 380 952. Let's go red for dyslexia.
To grow your business, broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries, then book and advertise with us today by calling us on +254 700 893 542
700 893 542
or email us on sales@loop-up.tv.
Welcome to Look Up Guest House, Retreat and Prayer Center. When you first come in, we will be happy to receive you at our reception, then proceed to our cozy and well-equipped accommodation facilities. We aim to provide our guests with a unique, comfortable, and worthwhile experience. Here at Look Up Guest House, we provide our guests with a continuous supply of room amenities. A cool environment for all your retreat activities.
Look Up Guest House, Retreat and Prayer Center. For reservation, contact us on info@lookupguesthouse.org or call us on 0746 788 707. Like, follow, subscribe, click the notification button. Join the Look Up TV movement now.
A very warm welcome to this segment of Diaspora Fusion here on your favorite TV station, Look Up TV, with me, Brenda Mwashumbe. So today we have an amazing discussion with an amazing couple. We will be focusing on growing through differences and what a day in the life of an interracial couple looks like. Joining us is Mr. and Mrs. Munani. Welcome to Diaspora Fusion.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So I'd like us to start from the beginning, where it all started. How did you guys meet? What's your love story?
Okay, first of all, we met in Russia, where we had gone to pursue our university education after high school. That is where it all started.
Okay, and how long have you been together?
Since 2007 till now. It's about 13 going to 14 years now.
Yeah. Okay. And so how did you fall in love?
Did
you guys just meet? Was it love at first sight?
Not really. I think it's... I think we spend a lot of time together because we are classmates. So I think it's, the relationship developed with time. It's not really like love in first sight and all that. It's just that relationship just grow as the time go.
Okay, so I can imagine that it was really challenging, Mrs. Munani, to leave your family and friends. What was the reaction of your parents when you told them that you're leaving the country, you're coming to get married in Kenya?
So I think initially we started dating when we were in first year and there were 6 years of medical school. So I think people just somehow didn't see how this would work out. And then by the time that we told them that we are going to be together and leave the country and all that, I think the reaction wasn't that extreme, actually. It's more of blessing. Yeah.
Okay. And so I'd like you to take us through a typical day in the life of the Munanis.
So our days start quite early. Usually my children goes to school at 5. That's when they wake up and make a lot of noise. We prepare them to school. And then because both of us are doctors, so after getting the children ready to go to school, we also get ready for our work. So throughout the day, there's nothing much interesting. It's just hospital work. Then all of us will be home by around 6, 7. That's when we take our dinner, relax, watch movie, discuss our life for the day and anything special for the day. Yeah, that's all. I don't think it's anything different though.
Okay. So, Mr. Munani, were there any fears going into the relationship?
No, I think from my side, it's okay because my parents are very supportive of any relationship as long as it's a relationship that you don't have confrontation. That is the important thing. As long as you can live together without having any wrangles in the family, that is the important thing. It doesn't matter with which tribe or which country someone comes from, because from my family we are a group of we have 4 brothers in the family. So I think everyone from my family is married outside of the tribe to begin with. So for us it's kind of something that my parents are supportive about.
Okay, and how is the intercultural experience?
Yeah, it's okay. Now about food-wise, now people, you have to try, like one day you're eating different food, the other day you have to eat my food, something like that. So for the culture, it comes to food, that is a big issue, but you get used to it.
So it's a compromise.
Yeah, you must. For any relationship, there must be a compromise. Because if you don't have that, then you're going to have fights for petty things that doesn't make sense as a family.
Okay. And Mrs. Munani, did you face any ethnic pressure when you were coming to Kenya and choosing him as your husband?
I think the pressure is not really on my side. Maybe it's on his side because I think like everywhere we go, people assume that he is my driver or bodyguard, things like that. Yeah, but for me, I think I'm very comfortable here. I don't feel anything being treated different or anything. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I should redirect that question to Mr. Munani. And how did you overcome the ethnic pressure? And did it stop? Do people still think you're a hard driver?
Yeah, the time we started, as you start life and you are having the mini car, what is being used in Kenya as a Uber. So I used to be told, like, why you not, after you drop her to work, then you ask, why you not picking me up and this is your work,
Wow.
But it's yeah. So, and with time when you are going to a mall, for example, you are told that is a dropping zone. But that one is okay because that is the mentality of a number of people, not only in Kenya.
Yeah.
Even the time we go out of the country, she is thought of to be as my translator, for example, if we go to China, business trip. So it becomes kind of interesting because people still not open to this interracial relationship.
Yeah.
That they think like most likely you are a worker or you work your colleagues. They don't think like it's something of marriage or something.
Okay. So what are some of the myths and misconceptions about intercultural marriages that, according to you and your experience, are definitely not true?
They assume I'm really rich.
Definitely.
Which I'm not.
Just that.
Yeah, and mostly they think like the relationship won't last because first of all, is like you're from different cultural backgrounds and different countries. So they think like maybe it's just a short-term thing that you're going to have wrangles that will end up the relationship. So that is what people think. So when they see like now it's a 14th year or so in the relationship, yeah, some people don't see how it has ended up that long, but something that people need to understand, like it doesn't matter of which ethnic group you come from or whichever country you're coming from. What matters is what kind of relationship you're having and how are you understanding each other as a couple.
Okay, so you've both mentioned that you've had very supportive parents. So do you think how you both were brought up contributed to how you both perceive people of different races?
I think definitely yes, because I think if our parent was not open-minded or maybe they have not been exposed, I think the opposition or the pressure from the family would definitely be a lot. But I think I thank God that my parent and his parent are really, they're both educated. And they accepted me as a very open-minded with open arms. So I think I'm really lucky about that.
Okay, and your parents? The same?
Yeah, the same, because my parents, most of, like my dad studied outside the country in the 80s. So by the time he came back and when I brought a foreign wife, they think he was okay with it. It's like, as long as the relationship works for you, I'm okay. Like that is the important thing. As long as you're happy, they're happy. It's not about any cultural or racial inclination to whichever is the best couple for any other person. Yeah.
And other than your parents, I'm sure you have close family members, and when you take her to the rural area, what's the reaction when people see a Muzungu? Does she feel uncomfortable with all the attention?
Yeah, okay, maybe we are lucky because almost all of our family are around Nairobi. So my 7 aunts and all that, they're around Nairobi. So as the close relatives who are around Nairobi, they're okay with anything because most of my family members are married to foreigners. So it becomes an easy thing to integrate into the family as a foreigner. Not that hard. But if you go to the villages, of course, there's this Muzungu thing going around, or Chinese. Yeah, so it's a normal thing in Kenya that you can't really wish away.
Yeah.
But at the end, you have to live with it.
Okay, and does that make you uncomfortable?
You know, the first days, she was the one who was uncomfortable. For me, you know, as you've grown up as a Kenyan, you're used to, that is how it works.
Yeah.
So you really don't get to feel awkward about it. So you just have to live with it and you let them talk, because even if you try educating someone about like, this is a relationship, you tell them stop calling someone names, you're not going to change that. It's something that will have to change with time.
Okay. And what is one thing that you can share with us that can indicate that this is the best decision you ever made? Mrs. Munani, let me direct that to you.
I don't think there's one particular thing, I think after such a long relationship, it's every little thing in life actually add up. Like, we always experience this bad day one. It's just in a way you have a few moments of sadness, something happened that it's not something you wish for, but I think the important thing is we always have each other's back, even if things are difficult at work or things are difficult in life, or even sometimes with our children, they become very difficult for no reason. And then in the end of the day, I think it's just try to think I always think it's his shoe that how would I best do this? Is it possible that with everything, how I can support him throughout all the decision? But if sometimes we have conflict of opinion, we have to sit down and say which one. You have to think logically, like what is the pro and con. So I don't think there's really one thing that can actually say that this is the one. It's just that every little things in life count. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mr. Munani, so what are some of the lessons that you've learned from being married to someone of a different race?
For me, lesson-wise, is just a relationship, As long as you're happy, that is the important thing. As long as you understand your partner, that is the important thing. That is all I can say. For lessons is you just have to understand your partner.
Yeah.
Think of what they will want to do or what their feeling is about any moment. That is the important thing. You make each other happy, that is the ultimate goal of a relationship. And you can move on and proceed and grow up in a relationship to be strong.
Okay. And Mrs. Munani, what are some lessons you've learned?
I think the lesson that I learned is communication really important, because I can't expect him to understand my thought process, how I come from and why I do the things that I do. So always the decision making, sometimes even if there are some decisions that you have to make by yourself, you have to let the other person know to understand why you do what you did. Yeah. So especially like even in children, sometimes with our work, sometimes we can even leave the house for weeks and months. So, not all the time that we have each other by our side, but I think communication is really important. We really need to understand, even if things happen, decision has been made, you have to make the other partner understand what exactly you are thinking about and why you do that. Yeah.
Okay. So parting shot as we wrap up, what advice would you give people who want to dive into a marriage with someone of a different race?
That is going to be a tricky question because it depends on where you come from. There are some families, for example, who really don't accept not only an interracial relationship, but inter-ethnic relationship, even in Kenya by itself. So that one, it depends on the support you get from the family. Because if you don't have family support, it's going to be difficult to even have a relationship by itself. Because you being isolated from the family, sometimes it can be a mental toll on yourself. And that one will ultimately affect the family as a whole. So that one is going to be a trick question, because it depends on family support and you as a person on what you really want.
Okay, so what if someone is watching and they're counting on your advice and they want to get married, but their family isn't as supportive? So what advice will you give this individual?
Yeah, in that case, now it comes to what do you really want? Yeah, so you can proceed and just, as long as you're happy, then you can let everyone be with their own decision, because that is their decision. But as you you're happy with your partner, you can take that step, get married to that partner of yours of different race or religion or tribe.
Yeah.
So with that, it's you just take that leap of faith, get married, and just hope for the best as long as you have each other's back.
Thank you so much,
I think what is very important is probably is not really like extreme like marriage or something. It's just that because in the end of the day, it's you and your partner. You really need to know who you are choosing and is it worth it. And of course, now nobody can tell what happened tomorrow. But if you feel like this is the person that you can spend your life with, just go ahead. Why not?
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Munani. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. There you have it. Intercultural marriages work. I hope you learned a thing or two. It's been a delight. My name is Brenda Mwashumbe.
Well, and the interview by Brenda Mwashumbe brings us to the end of Diaspora Fusion this night. Until next time, my name is Samia Dika. Have a wonderful night.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch with us through 0700 893 542 or send us an email to views@look-up.tv. We can't wait to hear from you.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile. And having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remembering. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
Welcome to Look Up Guest House, Retreat and Prayer Center. When you first come in, we'll be happy to receive you at our reception, then proceed to our cozy and well